Once upon a time, in the city of Mănăştur, there was a girl whose life was about to change. Her name was Cinderella Lagash. In her childhood, Cinderella lived in a big mansion with her dad. Her mother died when the girl was 5. After a long time of pain and grief, her dad got remarried for the sake of her beloved daughter because he wanted her to have a mother in her life. When Cinderella was 16, her dad died of cancer. This tragedy marked the girl's life for a long time. She was left with her stepmother and her stepsisters, which after her father's death, they showed their true colors. That was the point when her life went downhill. It was a beautiful day of May 5th. She wakes up from her dream by the beautiful voice of Liviu Guta singing Bună dimineața.
Bună dimineața, viața mea.
After she got dressed up, her phone rang. It was her stepmother which wanted Cinderella to bring breakfast to her bed. In the other part of the Mănăştur, in the most beautiful, stunning, and glorious villa, the family Jungenlosh were happy for their son's return from Italy. Marian, the father of Laurențiu, had a talk with him about his future in Mănăștur. He wanted Laurențiu to stay in Romania and build a family and continue Marian's legacy. He accepted, but for this, he needed a wife. An idea appeared in his father's mind. They are going to hold a banquet for his son, for he to pick a girl that would be his woman in the life he had ahead. Marian ordered his samsari to post on the Facebook page, Mănăștur Zone, that tomorrow night there will be a banquet at Jungenlosh Villa, the reason being the search for a woman to marry his son, Laurențiu.
Meanwhile,
Back at the Lagash family, after they all received and read the notification, her stepmother and her stepsisters were blissful to hear the news. In the slip of a second, they all to the magazine Chinese-esque Flora to buy new dresses for the evenement. In the mean, Cinderella was working on her own dress using materials from her old clothes from when she was a child. While everyone in Mănăștur were fighting for the most beautiful dresses in the magazine Chinese-esque Flora, Cinderella was finishing her own dress and was ready to wear it. The final piece was her Swarovski Aquazzurra Aura sandals that she got from her father before he died as a final gift for her sweet and beloved daughter. Cinderella never told anyone about the shoes. Not even her family know about their existence. Because if they knew, her stepmom will take her last gift from her father just to give them to her stepsisters. Her family got back home at the nighttime. They walked in with the most beautiful dresses eyes ever saw. They ate the dinner Cinderella prepared for them and went to sleep. During the night, her mother snuck into Cinderella's room to make sure she doesn't go to that banquet. She finds her dress and destroy it. Luckily, she didn't find her shoes from his father. She locked Cinderella in her room and threw away the keys. When the girl woke up, she tried to break free, but it was all in vain. Time went by, and the moment of the banquet was closer and closer. Cinderella started crying next to her destroyed dress. Suddenly, a memory of her deceased father stopped her crying. She remembered her father saying to her,
"My beautiful daughter, remember, I love you so much. You are so creative, so talented. You can do everything you want if you put your mind to it. I trust you. Cinderella."
She get up and knew this wasn't over. She immediately get her old clothes, the destroyed dress, and start to get creative. At the banquet, every girl in Mănăștur was trying to get Laurențiu's attention, but he wasn't interested in any of them, not even in Cinderella's sisters. Using her quick hands and inspiration, she made a beautiful night dress out of her old one and some clothes, and with the rest of the material she made a rope and used it to climb down the window. She net to the garage to use her dad's old Matisse. It was a little rusty, but a good car always remain a good car. She put the key in the ignition. The car made a noise, then it went silent. Another key and another failed attempt. After a whole 5 minutes, the car finally started. She was close to the Jungenlosh mansion when the car started to slow down. She was panicking, but we maintained her calm. She knew there was a service 300 meters away from where she is. She was needing just a little hope. In the last moment, she made it to Vericu's service. Vericu knew Cinderella very well, since him and her father were best friends in their youth. He examined the car, then proceeded to get his tools and start to work on the Matisse. Vericu was the most skilled mechanic in Mănăștur. In just 10 minutes, Vericu made her car feel like a new one. He told her it was for free since she is a good girl and an old family friend. She rushed to the banquet. The car was faster than before, and it was all thanks to Vericu. It was midnight when she arrived. When she left the car, all the eyes that were there were looking at her, gazing at her beauty. Only her mother and sister were surprised and angry about her presence. Laurențiu slowly approached her, taking her hand and invited her to dance. Her family was furious and wanted to stop the two of them. But Laurentiu ordered his samsari to get them and everybody else out. Besau he already had found his love. Laurentiu's family was watching the moment. Tears fell off his father's eyes. It was love at the first sight. That was the most beautiful night the two of them could ever had. The next day, Cinderella bought the house she grew up and made her family, who only gave her suffer in her life, her personal maids as revenge. Cinderella and Laurentius soon married, and everyone in Mănăştur happy for the two of them. The party lasted 3 days and 3 nights because they run out of alcohol. They grew up older and had 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl, and their life was perfect. The end.